At my birthday dinner, my mom raised her glass. Then she spoke loud enough for the whole table. We all agreed Janice should sell her house. Give the money to Jennifer's baby fund. She needs it more. My cousins clapped. My father smiled. My sister dabbed fake tears with a napkin. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I simply raised my own glass. Then I unlocked my phone. And I read a fresh email from my bank. The words made every fork hit China at once. $2,400,000. That was my reality. And they wanted my house. My name is Janice Hayes. This is the story of how I finally stopped playing their game. Sometimes silence is louder than rage. In my family, I'm the older daughter. The responsible one. The steady one. The one who was told to be perfect. Straight A's weren't optional. They were expected. College scholarships, 2 jobs, nights studying until dawn. I lived on ramen and black coffee. Every penny I saved felt like oxygen. While Jennifer? She stumbled from one part-time job to another. She quit classes, dropped out of college. She spent nights out, mornings hungover, and somehow always forgiven. Golden child. Miracle baby. Untouchable. Me, I was praised only when useful. Then quickly forgotten when Jennifer cried louder. At 25, I bought my first apartment. Mom told everyone it felt cold. At 30, I bought my dream house. She called it too big for one person. Jennifer? She failed upward. Quit after 1 semester, praised for finding herself. Switched jobs 17 times. Applauded for trying. Moved back home, and they called her resilient. No matter how I bled, she shone brighter in their eyes. Holidays were the worst. Don't wait too long, Janice. Your eggs aren't getting younger. Money won't keep you warm at night. That last one came from Dad. It carved a wound that never healed. Because money had kept me alive. Money had been the reason I could eat, study, survive. While Jennifer ate dinners charged to Dad's card. She wore new clothes every season. And I recycled the same coat for 5 winters. Every success I earned was treated like a fluke. Every failure of hers was treated like fate. That night at my birthday table, nothing had changed. I was still the selfish one. The woman with too much. The one expected to sacrifice again. But inside me, something snapped. This time, I wasn't going to fold. After that night, the silence inside me grew louder. I stopped chasing their approval. But deep down, I still carried the wound. Because it's not easy to unlearn neglect. I kept working. 12-hour days at the firm. Numbers, spreadsheets, deadlines, they were predictable. Unlike family, they followed rules. At least with money, effort meant results. So I poured myself into it. Promotions came, one after another. My colleagues clapped, my boss smiled. But when the applause ended, loneliness stayed. No one at home to ask how my day was. No one to say I'm proud of you. Jennifer never missed a chance to remind me. You'll die alone in that house, she sneered once. I laughed, but it cut deep. Because part of me feared she was right. Nights felt endless in that too big house. I'd sit on the couch with takeout, wine half finished, scrolling through social media like a ghost. Birth announcements, wedding photos, family vacations. And me, silence, the forgotten daughter, the successful mistake. Sometimes I wondered if I was cursed. If no matter how hard I worked, it would never matter. Because in my family's eyes, Jennifer's failures weighed more than my triumphs. Every time she stumbled, I was expected to catch her. Every time I soared, they clipped my wings. Still, I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. If I slowed down, the emptiness swallowed me whole. So I kept building. Paycheck after paycheck. Bonus after bonus. I studied markets, built portfolios, diversified. My worth on paper climbed into the millions. But worth in their eyes? 0. At dinners, I was the background character. Conversations circled Jennifer's pregnancy, Jennifer's struggles, Jennifer's bravery. I could have cured cancer. They'd still ask if I was dating anyone. Once Aunt Linda leaned close, whispering, "Don't you ever want to be normal? Normal." As if mediocrity was better than independence. As if my ambition was a disease. I smiled, swallowed the words burning my tongue, and went back to cleaning dishes while Jennifer napped on the couch. Years passed like that. I learned patience, the art of biting my tongue. I let them underestimate me, dismiss me, call me cold. Because somewhere inside I was waiting. Waiting for the moment I could stand tall. Waiting for the day they'd see. Not because I needed their validation, but because I wanted proof. Proof that surviving their neglect hadn't been for nothing. And when that moment finally came, it was sharper, louder, and more devastating than I ever imagined. The birthday ambush was only the beginning. The room was buzzing with fake warmth. Forks clinked against plates, glasses half full of cheap wine. Then Mom stood up. Her voice rose above the chatter. "We all agree," she said, eyes sweeping the table. "You should sell your house. Give the money to your sister's baby fund. She needs it more." My cousins clapped like trained seals. Dad smiled, proud of her announcement. Jennifer dabbed at her eyes, fake tears shimmering. I froze, fork still in hand. They really thought I'd give away my home. The house I bled for. The house I built brick by brick with sacrifice. Jennifer leaned in, voice trembling. "That's so generous, Janice. I knew you'd come through." Her words were daggers dipped in sugar. Something inside me snapped, but not loud, not messy, cold. I raised my wine glass slowly, took a sip, savoring the pause, then reached for my phone. "You want me to sell my house?" My voice was steady, even amused. "Yes," Mom said firmly. "Family takes care of family. Family takes care of family," I repeated softly. "That's nice." My thumb hovered over the screen. "Let me show you something." I opened the email from my bank. Earlier today, it had been routine. Now it was a weapon. "Dear Ms. Hayes," I read aloud. "We are pleased to inform you." The room quieted, every eye on me. "Your total assets under management have exceeded $2.4 million. I let the words linger. Every fork dropped. Every smile vanished. Jennifer's mouth hung open. Brandon tried to do math in his head. Mom went pale. Dad blinked like he'd misheard. "That's what I'm worth. Not counting this house." I set my phone down deliberately. "You want me to sell my $400,000 home? And hand over scraps while I sit on millions?" Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Stephanie squeaked. "Over $2 million? How?" "I worked. I saved. I invested. While you all mocked my choices." I laughed, bitter and sharp. "You think I don't know struggle? I starved on rice and beans. I wore the same coat 5 winters, while Jennifer used Dad's card at restaurants." Jennifer's voice shook. "You don't understand. I'm struggling now." "No," I cut her off. "You're reckless. And now you expect me to bleed for it." I leaned forward, eyes sweeping the table. "You never asked for help. You demanded everything. You tried to shame me in my own home." I stood, chair scraping against hardwood. My chest rose with years of swallowed rage. Their eyes avoided mine, full of guilt, full of fear. "This party is over. Get out." I didn't shout. I didn't beg. I just ended it. They came for my house. Instead, they left with the truth. The text didn't stop. Buzz after buzz, one guilt trip after another. "Mom, you humiliated us. We only wanted what's best." "Dad, you embarrassed the family." "Jennifer, I hope you choke on your money." I stared at the screen, almost laughing. This was their idea of love. Stephanie chimed in about Uncle Ray. Tyler accused me of being selfish. Aunt Carol said pride comes before a fall. I set the phone down. For the first time, silence felt like armor. But then came Brandon. A certified letter, a lawyer's name, threatening to sue me for promises unfulfilled. I laughed out loud in my office. My attorney, Michelle, nearly cackled when I forwarded it. "This isn't worth the paper it's printed on," she said. Empty threats from desperate people. Still, it showed me just how far they'd go. Not just guilt, not just pressure. Now, manipulation with legal stationery. I refused to flinch. The family group chat, though, I forgot to leave it. My cousin Tyler's girlfriend Hannah DM'd me later. "Honestly, I think they're unreasonable. Not everyone sees you as the villain." That one message felt like oxygen. At least someone had seen the truth. Then Mom showed up on my porch. Hair disheveled, makeup streaked, voice shaking. "Janice, please, we can fix this. We'll buy you a car. I cut her off. "I don't want a guilt gift. I don't want a panic purchase. I wanted respect, Mom. And you chose Jennifer's tears over my years." Her eyes filled again. "You'll regret this when you're alone." I stepped back. "No, I regret waiting 32 years to say no." She left with her shoulders slumped. But my own stayed straight. That night, I poured wine. Reread the bank email. 2.4 million. My number, my life, my proof. The phone kept buzzing on the counter. More missed calls. More desperate pleas. I let it ring. For years, I'd begged for crumbs. Now they were begging me. The power shift was dizzying and intoxicating. I thought of all the birthdays forgotten. All the nights I stayed late at work, building something no one believed in. Every insult disguised as advice. Every reminder that Jennifer mattered more. It hit me. I'd already been alone all this time. But now, at least, I wasn't invisible. I was undeniable. And as I sipped, I thought, maybe family isn't blood. Maybe it's the people who clap when you rise, not cheer when you're asked to fall. They wanted my house. Instead, I gave them the truth. And it was worth more than any mansion. The morning after, the house was quiet. No buzzing phone. No guilt bleeding through the walls. Just sunlight cutting across my living room. I sat at the same table where everything had exploded. Where my mother demanded. My cousins cheered. My sister wiped fake tears. And I realized something. I didn't lose my family that night. I lost the illusion of having one. The truth is, they never celebrated me. They tolerated me when I was useful, dismissed me when I wasn't. And that's not family. Family shows up on your birthday. Family asks about your dreams. Family doesn't measure your worth by what you can hand over. I used to think setting boundaries was cruelty, that saying no was selfish. But it's survival. And it's freedom. Because here's what happened next. I created my own circle. Friends who remember the little things. Colleagues who respect my work. People who clap when I rise. Neighbors who check in unasked. Who bring soup when I'm sick. Who remember my dog's name. That's family too. And as for Jennifer, she'll have to build her own life. Her child will grow up learning that not everyone gets bailed out. Some lessons hurt, but they're necessary. I'm not her safety net. I'm not their investment. I'm not the villain in their story. I'm the author of mine. Page by page, choice by choice. Without begging for permission anymore. And maybe one day, I'll sit at a birthday table, surrounded by people who chose me. Not out of obligation, but out of love. We'll pass cake and laughter. No one counting favors. No one keeping score. So if you've ever felt invisible, if you've been told you're selfish for protecting what you earned, you're not alone. Have you ever faced something like this? Tell me in the comments. Sometimes the greatest inheritance isn't money. It's the strength to finally walk away before saying goodbye. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Don't forget to subscribe for more true family betrayal stories that reminds us we are stronger than we think.